What's up, guys? Welcome back to the I Am Her podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So today's topic is forgiveness. Yeah, that's a good one there. That's a real good one. So what is forgiveness, you ask? Forgiveness is the action or process of forgiving or being forgiven. And to me, you got to be a strong individual to forgive somebody, especially somebody that hurt you, like really, really hurt you. So to me, forgiveness is an attribute of the strong. And you should always forgive your enemies because nothing is going to irritate them more than to see you move on and get in touch with your spiritual self and start working and growing and glowing. Like, that's going to irritate them really, really bad. I've seen it happen. So you should definitely move on and start reconnecting with yourself. And also, a lot of people, even myself, we tend to want to blame the other person to better understand our faults or to show where we think we were right instead of taking responsibility for our own actions and looking to see where we were wrong and what we could have done in order to keep the situation calm instead of escalating it. And when you take responsibility for your actions, you begin to see what actually sparked the situation, what actually made the situation get out of hand in the first place. And then you start to heal and you recognize those actions. That way you're not using them in another similar situation or any other situations, because nowadays I see a lot of people, they get upset and they won't get back. Wrong direction to go. Like, you should definitely give up getting even because you're not doing anything but hurting yourself with that. And secondly, stop feeding the other person with anger because that's what they want to see. Let all that aggression out with something positive. Go out and do something that could probably change the world or change the people around you, because if you won't change, you have to be that within yourself. And then just let God handle all the judgment. You don't have to go to everybody after somebody made you upset and gather up a team of people to hate that one person, because then you look like the fool. Just wish them well and just keep it pushing, because all that other extra stuff isn't doing anything to help you at all. Because you're going to need that energy, boo, to get through that process of forgiving and healing yourself, because forgiving and healing, that takes time. And the greater the hurt was that was done to you, the greater the time you're going to need. So I feel like you should definitely save all of your energy towards that instead of putting all the negative energy on your social media platforms or going around to different people like, yeah, I know you see me and such, I ain't really kicking it no more. Let me tell you what happened. Listen, they're not going to do anything for the situation. I feel like you should definitely go talk to that person if you have a problem. Like, sometimes, yes, it's easier to vent to someone else, but all you're doing is creating a bigger problem. That's why I always try to just shut down, let it go, and move on. Like, plenty of people have come up to me, so what's going on here? What's going on there? And I'll be like, so what they tell you? You know what? Matter of fact, don't tell me what they told you. Whatever they told you, you go with it. My personality and my character will show who I am. I don't feel like I need to explain my side to anybody. You can think what you want to think about me. I know who I am. God knows who I am. And I'm good with that. So, with that being said, of course, you guys know I have a story for just about everything. So I do have a story to give an example of forgiveness. It'll tie into all my previous episodes that I've had, because everybody knows by now that has listened that I was in a very dark spot for a long period of time, and it hasn't been too much time in between then and now that I have come out of that. So if you would like to catch up on episodes, if this is your first time listening, You can find me on Apple Podcast, Anchor, Google Podcast, and Spotify at I Am Her. I also add all of my episodes on YouTube for people that don't want to download the apps at Audaciously Ashley. So that's always an option. Also, if you just want to keep up with me or the other news or find out what I'm doing, find out what I'm like in my personal life, you can find me on Instagram at audaciously_me_. I also have a Facebook that goes with that. It's audaciously_me_ as well. I'm also on Twitter as Ashley_NoBanks_. And if you have any topics that you want to hear me discuss, or if you would like to be on one of my episodes, you could reach me at audaciouslym@gmail.com. So with all that being said, I'm going to jump into this story. So I had this friend that I met through a mutual friend that I had worked with. Okay, me and this girl met at, I think we were at a club called The Princess here in my hometown. I think that's where we met the first time. So we were all just chilling, kicking it. I didn't go into this thing expecting to meet new people to just hang out with and get that close with. I didn't. It was just a real fun night out on the town. Let's get out, let's have fun, let's let our hair down. But me and this one girl, we connected. Like, that became one of my best friends. And of course, I have a best friend of 10 plus years that I put her up there on that same pedestal with. And she knows that, like, that was my girl. Still my girl. That's my girl. I'm going to say that. That's my girl. And we had a falling out. But most of the time, whenever we fell out, it would be like, it's all right. You could be mad at me. I'll talk to you later. And we would actually just really talk to each other later. Just, no, you was wrong for this. Okay, and I said this. That's how our conversations went. And we were good. But it's a lot of things that I feel like led up to this. I know we had a disagreement on something a week before this big bang happened between us. But I didn't think that everything would come to what it came to. So I was having a 4th of July barbecue for people to just come out, kick it. The kids pop fireworks. We're just going to have a good time. And of course, what's the barbecue without the drinks? A lot of those came into play. So everybody was drinking. I invited a few people over that I didn't invite at first, but I was like, yeah, just come on. We having a good time. Bring your fireworks. We're trying to let the kids have a good time, pop the fireworks, see the lights. So that happened. We were outside popping fireworks. Everything was good. We come back into the house. The kids are running around, everybody getting something to drink. And to my understanding, someone was just like, hey, whose child is this? The baby thirsty. Can I give him something to this? Because it's late. I don't know. Just asking, and nobody said anything, to be honest. I didn't hear the first couple of words. I didn't know he was asking that. But when I heard it, I tapped the person. I was like, hey, he asked you this. And then, he did get a little smart. He was like, hey, I was asking you this, blah, 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 this, and you too busy up in your phone and blah, blah, blah. Stuff started to escalate from there. And then when I saw it getting serious, I did stand up. I got up. My other cousin got up. We stood in front, in between the two, and we were like, hey, no, this is not going to go down. This is not how it's fixing to happen. Just go. Like, his brother was trying to get him to go. Everything. That was that. Like, we were trying to settle the situation, don't do that here. It don't have to go that far, blah, blah, this. And then the person behind me that I'm pretty much defending just hauls off and says something about, I ain't scared, blah, blah, this. You bleed just like I bleed. And I was like, hey, we not gonna do that. That is my cousin. Because if all of these people or my family members, and then you haul off and say that, and I'm trying to defuse the situation, I feel like you're not respecting me enough to let me do that. And all you're doing is going to escalate the situation. And I wasn't saying it to be like, oh, well, you say that, I'm going to jump on you. But that's how it was taken in that moment. But that's not how I was getting at it. But I'm just like, hey, don't do that. You know, if I'm trying to diffuse the situation, don't make it escalate. Like, do not do that. Everything is calming down, and then you yell that out, everything sparks right back up. Wrong thing to do, okay? Everybody leaves. This person leaves as well, and then, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my Lord, what the hell? How did that happen? So the guy calls me, he's like, hey, tell your friend I apologize. I'm sorry. I did, you know, go a little bit too far. I was just trying to see if, you know, I could get the boy something to drink because all the kids had something to drink and he was walking around crying and thirsty. I was like, okay, I'll relay the message. So I did. And when I did, I text this person separate from the group. I didn't know that she went and called our mutual friend before this happened. And I didn't know that the mutual friend that we have said, well, you told me your side, put it in the group. Let me see what she says. In that moment, I felt as if I came to you separately. Don't put it in the group, because now with both of y'all responding, I feel attacked off of something that wasn't even my fault to begin with. So, of course, I was a little drunk. I went off. I didn't like it because in that moment of me saying what I had to say, another message came from the mutual friend saying something about what happened the week before. And I was like, dang, I thought we already talked about this. You know, this ain't even about that. Now I feel like y'all have been sitting up having discussions and y'all want this to happen. So you know what? I'm going to let y'all have that. I'm gone. I ain't got to talk to y'all no more. So I did all that. I blocked them on everything. I wasn't trying to hear it. I was over it. I was upset. I was angry. I was like, there's no way she just did me like this. There's no way. So that was, I want to say that was maybe 2017. We didn't start reconnecting until this year. I got on Twitter one day and I saw a picture that she had posted of us, and she was like, I miss my girl, man. And I was like, I miss her too. But like, am I ready to really reach out and talk? Have I really forgiven her for everything? Okay, you know, I just told her, you know, I miss you too. I did mean it, but I wasn't sure if I was ready to talk. A month or two went by. Yeah, a couple months. We weren't friends on Facebook. She also tagged me in another picture of us, and she was like, I miss you. So when I finally see it the next day, I did write her back, and I was like, oh, boo, I miss you too. And I was just sitting up there thinking like, okay, Ashley, you're trying to grow, trying to get past this. Why not have a conversation and y'all talk about everything so you can get her side, she can get your side of what y'all feel like happened, and just go from there. I called my best friend. I was like, look, I think it's time. Everybody has been wanting us to talk. Like, I really do think it's time. Like, that was a good friend. I miss her. Like, that was my girl. We could get up and just ride out together. So she was like, yeah, sure, for sure. Call her, text her, whatever. I was like, well, I don't know if her number's still the same, so I'll just hit her up on Facebook. I did that, and she responded back, and she was like, yeah, we can talk. You know, give me about 45 minutes to get home, and, you know, we could talk. And she hit me up. She was like, would you rather text or talk on the phone? I said, I would rather talk on the phone because I really wanted to talk and we get a really good understanding, because everything can be taken the wrong way through text message. It's a proven fact. So we talked everything out. We hashed it out. We even reminisced. We talked about some things that, has happened in our life between then and now. And it's like a breath of fresh air. Like, I felt a lot of tension leave my body after we had that conversation. And it's like we both came a long way in forgiving each other, because the way it happened, I should have talked to her. She said, she's like, you should have came and talked to me. I tried to talk to you the next day. I was letting you calm down. And I get up and I text you and I realize I'm blocked. And I was like, yeah. I couldn't deny it. I mean, I told her I was over it, I was just over it. I wasn't trying to hear it. I felt betrayed. We hashed all of that out. We're good. And she was like, well, next time you need to come talk to me, because we better than that. And we are. Because anytime we had an issue with each other, it was never a problem. Like, hey, we need to talk. We'll sit down. We'll talk it out. We always tell each other the truth, even if it hurts. Like, that's how we were. And that was definitely a friendship worth going back and forgiving and healing. So, with that being said, we forgave each other. So forgiveness is like a gift and trust is earned. So we have forgiven each other, but it's like, we're still here and there trying to fill each other out to make sure, we can still trust one another like we did. I know things won't go back to how it was, because we both have changed and grown a lot since then. So it's like we're just trying to adjust with each other now, because that was a 2-year gap. Like, like I said earlier, the greater the hurt, the greater the time. It's like, that hurt me really, really bad. I cried for days behind that. For days. But it's over with now. We got it all together. We're good. And somebody threw this topic of forgiveness with me, and that was the first thing that popped in my head. And I was like, hey, is it all right if I do my podcast episode on this and tell our story? And she was like, yeah, send me the link. And yeah, so this is how this kind of worked out. I feel like it worked out pretty well for it. So yeah. And earlier today, I was doing some searching about forgiveness, and I ran across this quote from Buddha that I want to leave you guys with, that says, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else when you are the one getting burned. Now that is God honest truth right there. Grasping rather, a hot coal with the intent of getting back at someone else, but you're the one that's actually being burned. So, ladies and gentlemen, when trying to forgive someone, always look within yourself. Don't check out their faults. Let them and God deal with their faults. You worry about yourself and you heal. Thank you guys for listening. I hope I passed on a good message. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be talking with you next Monday. Hope you guys tune in again. Thank you. See you later.